The father of bourbon, Elijah Craig. I've got two samples pour. We're going to try the standard expression versus a store pick. Is there a difference? Will we be able to tell it all? Let's find out. How is everyone doing today? My name's Chris. Welcome back to Bourbon Sane. This is the bourbon that started me into bourbon. This is the one. Elijah Craig, and it was specifically a store pick. This is their small batch and a store pick. The one I had, when I first tried it, I was a craft beer guy. You know, I loved craft beer, I loved dark beer specifically, and I got that first bottle of bourbon. I was like, hey, it's a store pick, let's give it a try. It was the most rich, the most flavorful. It was like nothing I've ever experienced before with a whiskey. And I had drank whiskey like casually, but nothing like I do now. And that's what opened my eyes to bourbon, you know, and at that point, the floodgates opened. I went and bought everything I could, I found everything I could, and the rest is history, you know what I mean? That's it. So Elijah Craig is the one that started it for me. He's also the father of bourbon, you know? That's the story behind Elijah Craig. This expression comes out of Heaven Hill, and a lot of you know this label already. Of course, you'll know Elijah Craig, the small batch, the 94 proof, but then we talk about the older brother, Elijah Craig barrel proof. Some of our favorites, always been one of my favorites, at least in years past. The narrative might change a little bit going forward. We're going to find out how the subsequent releases are. But I've always appreciated these picks. I've always appreciated Elijah Craig, and I've always appreciated Heaven Hill for the availability, the flavor profile, and the affordability. You know, this is typically a sub $30 bottle, even now, and the flavors that come through are really nice. So as mentioned, we got two different expressions here. My left, that'd be your right, I think, is the base one. So just a base Elijah Craig, what you'll buy off the shelf any day of the week. And this is this store pick here. So this specific store pick I got from Bourbon Street, local store in Grand Rapids. If you're ever around Grand Rapids area, go to Bourbon Street. They are the go-to. 8-year pick, 94 proof. The standard small batch is typically 6 to 8 years is what I've heard. So it shouldn't be a huge difference really, but I really like this pick here. So I wanted to do a side-by-side, see the difference, and find out. So let's go into color first here. And I'm going to just kind of do the same time. So in my light, I don't know how it shows up to you, but the store pick is a slight tinge darker. I mean, it's very similar. I would say age is very close on this, maybe a 7-ish year on this one too. So let's start with the base expression first here. Forgot to mention mash bill. This is a 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. So very low rye mash bill, which is interesting because this is always a very spicy bourbon to me for a base, you know, entry proof bourbon. So yeah, I mean, barrel tannin comes through, toasted caramel, toasted oak. And I always like that about Elijah Craig. You know, it still gives you that kind of, those classic bourbon notes while not kicking you in the face with proof, you know. It's very entry level for people. Nice nose. Nice nose. Let's see the difference on this one. Ooh, okay. Yeah, see, this is why they have a single barrel program, because this is just amplified. It's like everything described in this Glen, just amplified to another level. The amount of candy sweetness and extra sugary sweetness I get on these picks, and that's really what it was with the first pick I had that started me into bourbon also. It was like a candied sweetness that drew me in. You know, it was a very desserty bourbon. And it's giving me remnants of this too. Yeah, still very solid nose on the base expression here. It's just a little muted, you know, compared to the other one. So let's go into this one first. It's solid. I mean, you can tell it's a budget bourbon, entry level, but it gives you everything you want on the palate. You know what I mean? It's not kicking you in the face with proof anywhere. Mouthfeel finish, about medium, you know, but it's got every note that you would expect out of a bourbon. A little bit of oak, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla. And I say a little bit because, I mean, I'm a proof whore at this point. You know, I like proof. I like the proof. Let's go to the other one. So mouthfeel, finish, amplified on the store pick. You know, and this won't be the case for every single barrel you're going to get. But as mentioned, this is why they do single barrels. You know, you find that store you trust, which Bourbon Street I definitely trust at this point. Had a few Evernorth picks from there. least one, and then multiple other store picks, you know. Very, very good. But everything amplified. Caramel sweetness. I mean, burnt caramel, very desserty. It's a clear winner between these two. But that's not to say that, you know, the base expression isn't good too. Like I mentioned, that's a $30, sub $30 budget option. Always one of my go-to recommendations. We talked about these store picks. They move up a little bit in price, $35 to $40, which for me, it's a good one when people come over. I'm like, hey, here's your base expression. Here's something that's picked specifically from a store. You know, see the differences, what a single barrel is. It's a conversation starter, you know, stuff like that. So I don't mind it. Not bad. Both of them solid. I would still recommend them. They're both entry level. Even for picks in general, this is still an entry level pick. They now make Elijah Craig barrel proof picks, you know, which a lot of you know. I really enjoy those things. That was recommended in one of my videos as one of my store picks I will always pick up if I see them, especially at retail. So I do enjoy that because I am such a Elijah Craig barrel proof fan in general. Always have been. Even with the quality, I'll argue, dropping off a little bit the last 3 years or so, whatever it's been. It's still one of the better barrel proofs on the market. You know, price is starting to get up there a little bit, but it's still not the Booker's price, like $100 or whatever. So, and it's older, typically. So, you know, can't blame there. But I'll tell you what, Elijah Craig, entry level, if you haven't had it yet, worth a try. And I want to hear, have you guys ever had any of the single barrels from Elijah Craig? You know, how do you think they compare to the base expression, the shelfie you'll get off there, you know? To me, I think it's amplified, but I want to hear from you guys. So let me know. All right, well, I appreciate you guys watching this today. Just a quick side-by-side. Had a lot of fun doing it. Figured I'd better do it. I don't know if I'd ever reviewed Elijah Craig on my channel. I think I've done it in some blinds maybe, but by itself, I don't know. So I figured I'd better just go for it. So if you haven't yet, please do make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be here every week, having a lot of fun doing this. And I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me, all right? Stay insane, everyone.